In coming JEE Advanced paper, these type of questions might definitely drop off because it is a very popular concept which I believe very few students know about. And if this particular breed came in the coming paper, there are high chances that you will lose your 4 marks and your branch might turn out to be metallurgy from chemical or chemical from ECE, which you definitely don't want. So focus carefully on what I'm about to teach you. So over here we are given with a 9-degree equation and these are the options. And again, it can be a multi-carat question. So if there is anyone among you who wants to try it first, give it a 5 to 6 minutes try, pause the video and go for it. And tell me in the comment section if you are able to solve it or not. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Now is my time to start with the solution of this question. A very popular property is being used over here. After converting this equation in a certain format, now this conversion itself will test your ability to deduct well or your ability to find the patterns. So if we carefully observe the equation, this 512 is equals to 8 to the power 3. So we can write x to the power 9 as x to the power 3 and this whole term will become 8 multiplied by x to the power 3 whole to the power 3. So with this step we can sense that there is something that has to do with the cubic equation over here. So we got 8x cube and further we'll break this term into 3 multiplied by 8x cube to the square multiplied by 3. Now you will be seeing the pattern after we change this term and it will turn out to be 3 multiplied by 8x cube multiplied by 3 squared. Now you can carefully observe that we are trying to form 8x cube as much as we can and this 219 we'll break into two pieces. We'll release a 27 and on the right hand side we'll get 512x minus 192. Now I want you to focus on these three terms and this 27, it actually whole turns out to be 8x cube plus 3 to the whole cube. Now the inspiration of releasing a 27 from this 219 comes out only when you realize that this cube can potentially form. And in order to form it, you'll release a 27 from it. Now the question is about to converge and the second part of the question is about to come. So first part of the question was that we need to deduct it in such a way that we can achieve this expression of 8x cube plus 3 to the whole cube. And the second part of the question is going to be a concept related to functions chapter that I'll come to shortly. So the equation that we get over here is 512 multiplied by x minus 192 and there is a whole cube over here. By mistake I've written whole to the power 2. Okay, alright. So 8x cube plus 3 is equals to 512 x minus 192 whole to the power 1 by 3. Now we can straight away take 512 common because it is cube of 8. So from this part an 8 will come out, 8 multiplied by x minus 192 divided by 8 and 192 divided by 8 is equals to 3 by 8. So we'll write it in empirical form and this is what we'll get. And on the left hand side we'll get, alright, let's divide this 8 over here and we'll get x cube plus 3 divided by 8. Now you can observe the pattern over here very clearly that 3 by 8 the number is forming both the sides. Now those who are in class 11th or who haven't studied the concept of inverse functions might get confused over here. So actually these two functions are inverse of each other. Those who don't know, I'll clear up the theory in 1 second. Inverse functions are the ones that are symmetric about y equal to x. Alright, so for an example, the most basic example of an inverse function is e to the power x and ln x. So the blue one, the lower blue graph is of ln x and the upper one is of e to the power x and these are both are mirror images of each other about the line y equal to x. But sometimes the inverse function can also intersect. For an example, let's say this one. Both these blue curves are intersecting at a point that is y equal to x and are also inverse of each other as they are images of each other in y equal to x line. So with this we can say that inverse functions intersect each other at y equal to x. So the solution of this equation are going to be the solution of x cube plus 3 by 8 is equals to x. Again, because I said inverse function intersect each other at y equal to x. So the solution of this equation are going to be the solutions of this equation. So now at the end we only have to solve this cubic equation, which is not very tough. It can be easily factorized because one root is clearly visible by hit and trial method and that is 1 by 2. But it can be a difficult step for some people who have not solved enough cubics as of now. So always make sure that this is the easiest way to crack the roots of the cubic and that is by straight away putting the values. Sometimes, most of the times in fact, the values are 1, minus 1, 1, 2, minus 2. Very rarely these fractional values are the roots and in our case it is. Sometimes you'll also see the root as 2 root 2 and you'll have to manually predict it that the cubic is forming a pattern in a way that 2 root 2 is its root. Obviously that's not the case over here. I just solved a question few days back in which this was done. 2 root 2 was the root and we were supposed to manually predict it. But alright, I hope you get the meaning. I hope you get the essence. So yeah, 1 by 2 is the root of the cubic and it can be predicted by seeing the pattern because here it will form 1 by 8 and 3 plus 1 divided by 8 becomes 1 by 2 and on right hand side also we have 1 by 2 only. So very easily predictable. At the end, we'll complete the cubic equation. It will turn out to be x cube minus x plus 3 by 8 and one of the factor of this cubic is 2x minus 1. Other two factor we can get by dividing it by 2x minus 1 using the general division method that we do. Just in case you don't know about it, you can search it on YouTube. You'll very easily find it. So yeah, the other factors will be 4x square plus 2x minus 3 and we'll get a quadratic equation whose d is actually greater than 0, so we can get the other two roots by Sridharacharya method. So yeah, the first root is 1 by 2, we calculated it initially. Another root is going to be minus 1 plus root 3 sorry, root 13 divided by 4, and the other root will be minus 1 minus root 13 divided by 4, and these are the three roots of this cubic, and that's how it was supposed to be solved using the concept of inverse function intersecting each other at y is equals to x. And the first part of the question was doing the reduction, the manipulation part, forming the cubes actually. So yeah, these kind of questions are rare, and sometimes JEE Advanced tend to ask questions from the properties that are rarely used. So make sure not to forget this one. And again, if you find such type of questions really hard and you are confused about how to sort this issue out because you have solved innumerable questions, either you end up giving or even after solving them you find them hard. SO60 is the program that we offer in which every chapter contains 60 such very good questions that I have explained in very much detail. So in total you will get around 480 plus questions and innumerable methods. It will take care of your revision, it will take care of your depth, and most importantly, it will increase your learning rate. Backlogs will not pile up, revision will be ensured, and whatnot. For more details, you can check out the link in the description, and it's something that you will definitely not regret. And thanks for watching the video. I hope you like this question. It's a concept. Fx equal to f inverse x is a popular concept in JEE domain, but seeing it in a polynomial format is quite rare for me. The way it's used over here is a little bit rare, because when it's polynomial, students generally tend to check out differentials of the equation, or maybe let's say sum of root, product of roots, but this question was supposed to be solved using a different way. So it can be misleading if it comes in paper. Okay, alright guys, so that's all for this one. See you in the next one. And ये पहली वीडियो है जो मैंने इंग्लिश में बनाई है. थोड़ी ज़्यादा एनर्जी लग गई, बहुत सारे एडिट करने लगे बिकॉज फ्लुएंसी उतनी ज़्यादा नहीं है, सो इट टुक सम टाइम. सो या, आई अप्रिशिएट ऑल ऑफ यू. एंड व्हाट डू यू वांट, लाइक तुम क्या चाहते हो कि मैं कंटेंट इंग्लिश में बनाऊँ या फिर हिंदी में बनाऊँ? बिकॉज इंग्लिश में बहुत सारे लाइक इंडिया में और भी जगह होती है जो लोग हिंदी नहीं समझ पाते, उनके लिए भी हो जाएगा. और बहुत सारे फॉरेन चैनल्स भी हैं जो इस तरह का कंटेंट देखना प्रेफर करते हैं अच्छे मैथ्स के क्वेश्चन से रिलेटेड. सो ड्रॉप योर सजेशन इन द कमेंट, एंड थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग अगेन गाइज. सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन विद अनदर जॉ ड्रॉपर.